Welcome in, everyone. It's been a minute since we've been in this space. It is the Eye on Northeast Kansas podcast, rebooted as the Red Couch Rewind. I'm your host, Melissa Bruner. This is where we recap some of the top interviews you saw on our Eye on Northeast Kansas TV show, which you can catch live Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock Central Time from our WIBW studios in Topeka, Kansas, as we bring you some of the community leaders, maybe some of the top issues that we are talking about, as well as community events. And let's start with some issues. The Shawnee County Commission gives us an update the second Friday of every month. One of the commissioners comes in to visit on the Red Couch, and we talk about some of the topics. One of the big ones they have been studying are the guidelines for whether we should have some renewable energy facilities around Shawnee County. How would that happen? What kind of guidelines, what kind of regulations would they fall under? Shawnee County Commissioner Kevin Cook recently visited us because the commission is going to be taking a look at some recommendations at a special meeting coming up on April 13th. While he was here, we also talked a little bit about spring. There are lots of park improvements going on around town. Commissioner Cook gave us an update. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Happy Friday the 13th. Hopefully it hasn't been scary or freaky.
We think 13 is a very lucky number around here.
I can see that.
Yes, we embrace all things 13. You are embracing all things parks. We are seeing a lot of work going on, especially around Playland. What is the latest we're seeing there?
So Playland is still under construction. It's about partially developed at this point. When you go out, you're going to see that it's underway. Construction is underway. When it's all completed, it's going to be amazing. It's going to have skywalks, real new features. So right now it's going to look a little rough, but it's still
you sent us a couple pictures.
Yes.
Because the equipment's actually coming in.
It's coming in.
So if we take a look, you're going to see like that's there already.
Yeah, stuff's coming in.
Yes.
So but by the end of spring into summer, we're going to be ready and rock and roll.
And about what is the complete timeline here that we're going to see before folks can actually like run out and play on everything?
It should be before the end of the summer, but before the end of the school year. We should hopefully by May, June area, we should be ready to use that equipment.
And of course the new volleyball courts are there as well in Gage Park.
That is done.
That's
so
done.
Right now, if you want to go out and use the volleyball court, please go out and use it. It's ready. It's warmed up. I saw that it was in its mid-60s.
Okay, but not Sunday.
But not Sunday.
Sunday
it might be
a little rough day. And that's just the start, though,
Yes.
of other things. What else is to come in Gage Park in particular?
So right now we have the carousel. The building that houses the carousel is really nondescript. During the summertime we take off the walls so you can see the carousel, but during this fall and the wintertime it's really nondescript. But we're looking at building a whole new carousel building with a large meeting space that would revel or be the same as Big Gage Shelter House. Big Gage Shelter House is going to be going to the zoo, and then we would also have 2 party rooms for anniversaries, birthdays, a meeting space area with talking about the history of Gage Park, and also a train station. So it would be a train depot.
Yeah, you'll have 2 different spots that you can
Yes.
go. When does that construction start?
We are going to be discussing that next Thursday, and then it'll be getting started here right away. And so, again, hopefully by the end of summer, we have that one done.
I haven't asked or seen anything. Are you going to be opening the train or the carousel during spring break? Sometimes you do that.
Spring break, the carousel, I don't know that we're going to have the carousel open, but the train, knock on wood, is weather dependent. I mean, that's all on Jeremy.
He stared across the studio, staring you down, Jeremy. We want the train to run.
We're going to be running the train based on Jeremy.
Okay, so it's his fault, folks. But then after that, you've got the rock garden as well. That's going to get a little makeover.
So the rock garden, I mean, there's a little creek area between the wishing well and the pond. We're going to be redoing that and make it recirculatory. That'll address some of the blue-green algae, cut down on that. It's going to be a really nice feature. But we also got a really nice donation from CW Electric where they're going to be putting up lighting around the rock garden and the roses. And so when you're going to be able to go out there and enjoy that area, maybe a little bit later in the evening, right now there's not much lighting.
True. So we will see all of those improvements start to happen. And all of this is taking place as you continue to develop a new master plan. So how long do people have? Because you still want to hear from them, right?
We absolutely want to hear. So the Gage Park, not just Gage Park, but Parks and Rec,
all of
it. Whether it's summer camps, whether it's the community centers, whether it's the pools, anything. We want to hear from you. Please go to our website. Hopefully we've got a link that's going to pop up here.
I will put that up at the end because I do want to ask you about something else that commissioners are going to be talking about. And you've already gone ahead and set a special session for this. Right. How we may or may not see solar energy developments in the county. How long? This has been a discussion long in the making.
So we had deferred we put a moratorium on anything related to solar. We had 2 prior solar projects that we had approved, but as other areas and other communities are developing solar farms, we wanted to get ahead of it a little bit, develop what our regulations would be, what our rules would be. That went to the Shawnee County Planning Commission. They had a thorough discussion and review. They've adopted a plan and sent it to the County Commission on April the 13th. Again, all things 13.
Yes.
We're going to have a special session. That's a Monday, and we want the public to be able to help and contribute. Now, just because it's on a Monday and you may not be able to be there with work or other obligations, please email us, send us voicemails, let us know what your thoughts are on this. And if you go to the Shawnee County Planning Department, you'll be able to see the long-range plan for solar farms in Shawnee County.
And I'm going to be putting those links online. You're prepared to move forward allowing some up to 1,000 acres?
Well, that is the proposal that came from the Shawnee County Planning Department, or the Planning Commission. So we will see whether or not we adopt that, or we reject it, or maybe we make our own change right then and there.
Okay.
So we would have the ability to take it from 1,000 to a lesser amount, depending on what the other 2
or
commissioners.
Or even put a stop to it altogether like you currently have.
We could put a stop together all
They want to hear from you about
Yes.
it, though, folks. So first of all, Shawnee County Parks Master Plan, the survey, SNCO Parks Recreation Masterplan.com. Still have time to get in, make your voice heard. The Solar Farm Regulations special session is starting at 9 a.m. April 13th at the Commission Chambers, 707 Southeast Quincy. Right after the show, I will post the link so that you can review the plan, and also I'll put the email address up that you can email. Land Use Development is the email that you would be using to let them know what you feel. A lot going on. Commissioner Cook, appreciate
I hope
it.
you come out and enjoy the spring at Gage Park, ride the train, unless Jeremy makes it rain.
All his fault. Kevin, thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. So remember, the April 13th meeting is when the Shawnee County Commission is going to take a look at those recommendations for any future solar projects we might be seeing around the Topeka area. And there have been talk that some might be in the works. So you're going to want to take a look at whether these regulations, whether this development will be going forward. We also, during the month of March, took some time to recognize Women's History Month. We've been doing this for the past several years here on Eye on Northeast Kansas. We love having these great women on the red couch with us and really hearing what their journeys were. This year was no exception. Speaking of the parks, that's who we started with. The Gage Park improvements that you see going on are anchored by some of those key facilities in Gage Park, the Kansas Children's Discovery Center and the Topeka Zoo, both of which right now are led by women. So we had a great conversation with the Kansas Children's Discovery Center Executive Director Danae Mosier and the Topeka Zoo Director Christina Castellano. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
So excited to meet both of you, or to see you both. Gosh, I mean, we've met before, but it's fun to have you here in this capacity. Recap, if you would, Danae, first of all, for you at the Children's Discovery Center, what are some of the things that have been going on there?
We have had great excitement. In November, we cut the ribbon on an $11 million expansion that more than doubled the square footage of our campus. So we have lots of new exhibits, interactives, all kinds of fun going on.
Lots of new things there. The zoo also has some things going on. Christina, what do you all have in store?
Well, about a month ago, we announced our new master plan. It's a bold plan. We are looking to open a new animal experience every year for the next 5 years. And this year, we are going to open up a new tiger exhibit in July. So we are thrilled to be moving that plan forward and getting our community excited about what's to come.
Both of you have organizations that really appeal to people. I know it says Children's Discovery Center, but really people of all ages, because you're bringing generations together. The zoo brings generations together. How do you make sure young girls are included in what you do in your mission?
You know, I think it's so important that they see themselves in the future, and so curiosity is a big part of that. Giving them opportunity to explore, to ask questions, to be brave, and that's part of what we create every day in our experiences.
What about at the zoo? There's some, there's so many things that you could say, well, maybe is that a traditional male role or traditional female role? You've got everybody at the zoo.
Yeah, absolutely. We look at the zoo as a place for everyone. We welcome everyone. Our staff is an example for young kids, boys and girls. We just make it a welcoming space for learning, the same thing with curiosity, and we set an example through the work that we do.
You mentioned that the master plan for the zoo is a bold plan.
Yeah.
So what has been your leadership journey? Have you encountered any challenges in making sure your voice is heard when you come up with something that might seem, this is really an aggressive, large goal that, I can make it happen?
Absolutely. It's so funny when you talk about leadership journey. I feel like I've been on it for so long. that there are so many different parts of a leadership journey, but it's always about believing in what you do, being passionate about what you do, never taking no for an answer, but learning along the way of how you actually make things happen for your community, for yourself. So it really is about just growing and learning and staying curious and being open to new ideas.
Isn't that the library's slogan, stay curious?
Yes, indeed.
It really is. That's the best part of life. I tell that to my kids all the time. Stay curious. Always
Absolutely.
learn.
I love that. It is lifelong learning. You're all about learning at the Children's Discovery Center. What has your leadership journey been like?
I've had an incredible opportunity to work for and alongside incredible female leaders. So I feel like my opportunities were made possible. I started as an educator and then a school administrator, and then moving into this role, I've had the opportunity to develop that confidence and lead and be bold and make opportunities that are for children. And so for me, that philosophy has always been making our decision as close to the child as possible. And I think leadership is about creating opportunities for others. And so whether that's the children you're serving, the people you're working alongside, the team that you have.
How important is mentorship?
It's incredibly important. Mentorship and friendship. So
Absolutely,
colleagues in
yes.
this, and having other strong women in your life that can be part of that you have the opportunity to have trust and friendship that keeps that going.
And is it the same for you?
Oh, absolutely. And I look at Danae and I smile because I'm inspired by Danae. We are, right?
Yes,
We talk, we want the same things for our community. I love finding ways for us to partner with the Discovery Center. We have so many strong women in our community. We are just so lucky.
You like to yell
Topeka.
across the parking lot at each other?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, yeah. When you see me outside of work, we're pretty loud, and we were laughing before the segment started. And yeah, it's about friendship and growth and supporting one another.
It's so nice to see that, because do we sometimes get a little over competitive with other women, which is so strange because we talk about lifting each other up and supporting each other as women, but at the same time, sometimes you run into that kind of butting heads, if you will, people trying to kind of not sabotage, but you know what I mean, not necessarily be the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah, I don't find that with
That's
women.
good to hear.
I think it's just like sometimes that's human nature, but I think we rise above that. When we want to help each other, we help each other, and we want to see good things. When my organization is empowered to do good things, that means I can help Danae with her organization. One of the things I love about Topeka is we have so many great nonprofits, and when we work together, we elevate our whole community. So I think there's so much collaboration that goes on, so much support for each other. This is just a great place to be.
That's really good advice for setting gender aside. I mean, no matter the gender, the walk of life you're from, whatever, collaboration is key.
It is, and I think we're fortunate in our community that we're not siloed, and I think we maybe got into these roles at the right time where people were really collaborative and saying, let's do this together. We can make this better for the whole community when we work together.
Is that a more unique challenge when it comes to nonprofits, especially in this day and age where budgets are tight everywhere, and now you're having to try and find new avenues, new ways to make yourselves be sustainable?
I think that's what's strengthening all of our nonprofits is
I was
coming
gonna say
together.
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we're coming together and saying there are challenges, families in our communities are facing challenges, and when we address this together, we can be much more impactful.
Yeah, we can leverage our resources together. So yeah, no, I think we're all the nonprofits here, we support each other, we want good things. Together, we can do good things for our community.
I love seeing the smiles when you two are talking. Christina, Danae, thank you both, and we look forward to all the great things to come at the Discovery Center and Topeka Zoo, all within Gage Park. Christina and Danae were a great way to start our Women's History Month conversations. We then moved into the court system. What I have loved about Women's History Month are some of the segments we've been able to do, some of the guests we've been able to bring on, really bring that intergenerational perspective with them. Someone who started out in the days when there weren't a lot of women in the law profession, in the legal profession, in the judiciary, and then someone who has kind of been able to grow their footsteps, if you will, by breaking new ground in their own right. To this time on Women's History Month, we welcomed Nancy Parrish. She is a former chief judge for the Shawnee County District Court, the Shawnee County 3rd Judicial District in the state of Kansas. She had an interesting journey to the bench, which she shared with us. And Cheryl Rios currently sits on Shawnee County District Court. She has an interesting story herself, and it was great to hear from both of them. Welcome to the both of you. And we use that
Thank you.
retired term loosely when it comes to you, Judge Parrish, because you're not exactly retired. What has been happening in your life since you, quote unquote, retired?
Been retired for almost 4 years, but there is a program called a senior judge, but basically we're just substitute judges, and they send us around the state to fill in when a judge is ill or a judge is retired and there's some time before a new judge gets appointed, or there's a conflict with some of the people that are the parties in a case and everyone has recused and they need someone from outside that county.
So they still need you.
Yeah,
You stay
40%
busy.
of the time is what it is, a part-time contract.
Okay. Very good. What was your journey to the bench like? Did you go right from high school to college to law school to the bench, or did you have a little bit of a circle that you traveled?
Oh, pretty good size, sir. Oh, pretty traditional. I taught for 11 years and then had an opportunity when my husband retired from, or not retired, but changed jobs and left the legislature. I was able to get elected by the precinct committee people to fill the rest of his term. So I was in the legislature for 12 years. Then I got appointed as secretary of the Department of Revenue, and I was there 2 years, and then I became a judge.
So
but
this is like second, third career here.
pretty much, yes.
What about for you, Judge Rios? Where did you kind of come through the line?
So I started out practicing nursing. I became a registered nurse here in Topeka. I worked at Stormont Vale in the ER, the ICU, and I was also a flight nurse for, at the time, Lifestar ambulance service.
And then you decided to go into the law.
And then I decided to go to law school, and I went to Washburn Law School, graduated. I moved to Oklahoma and worked for then Chief of the Cherokee Nation, Wilma Mankiller, at Cherokee Nation,
Wow.
and then came back to Kansas. I did some solo practitioner work and then became a municipal court judge. I think before that I worked in the district attorney's office for about 4 years as well.
Here you are. So how many years have you been a judge?
So I think 20 or 21 years if I include municipal court.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's been a career that has spanned a lot as well. When you came up, Judge Parrish, what were your role models that made you think being involved in the law and judgeship would be what you would like to do? Or was it, how diverse was the legislature in terms of a gender balance when you were serving even there?
It got better. When I first went into the legislature, I was the second woman at that time in the Senate. And from what I can tell through history, first Democrat woman that served in the Kansas Senate. Jan Myers was the other female woman, a female legislator at that time, and so there were two of us, but the numbers really changed fairly quickly over time, and so much so that they decided that some women colleagues of mine that we didn't like walking through all of the lobbyists to go to the women's restroom, which was outside the chambers, because the men had their restroom within the chamber, and so we got a new restroom. So that was
kind of legacy.
established. That was an accomplishment.
Wow.
At that time. So,
What does your background in education help you when it comes to being a judge?
well, I think it helps you just dealing with people for the most part, maybe explaining things to various litigants, particularly when people do not have their own attorney and you're explaining the process to them. So I think that part was probably it was helpful to have the education background.
And as you've come up, Judge Rios, I mean, I think about, you've had Judge Parrish, who came before you in Shawnee County District Court, Justice Lukert, Justice Evelyn Wilson, who now has retired as well. What did it mean to you to have those ladies to kind of follow in those footsteps?
It was incredible. What a gift. I enjoyed every minute of practicing on the bench with these women. And they're certainly a hard act to follow, and I miss them terribly on the bench, but I know that they went on to do amazing things. But yes, it was great. When I started, I had Justice Lukert was there, as well as, well, she had just retired, but it was Justice Wilson, Jean Schmidt, as well as Nancy Parrish, and all of the people that came on the bench when I started have all retired.
What do you feel like? I mean, are we kind of ahead of the curve here when I think about women in our courts, not just Shawnee County District Court, but you look at our Kansas Supreme Court, you can go back to Kay McFarland as the Chief Justice, you look at the current makeup of the Supreme Court and our Court of Appeals, women have come a long way.
We were talking about that a little bit, and I think part of what's changed over time is certainly society and culture and women having more opportunities to go to law school, for example. When you graduate more women, female law students, you have more potential for service on the bench. But women are making strides over time and have since I've begun. I think that we have more women not only serving on the district court, Court of Appeals, Supreme Court, but also in administrative and leadership roles. And I think that's fantastic.
We're half the population, right? So thank you so very much, both of you, for coming and sharing with us. Judge Rios and Judge Parrish both were fascinating in sharing their journeys with us. Another great story came from Deborah Rose. I've known Deb Rose for quite some time now. Deb Rose was the first woman to attain the rank of Brigadier General in the Kansas National Guard. You wouldn't have thought that with the way her career journey started out. In fact, she shared a little bit of what happened to her the first time she tried college and then what led to rising through the ranks. And I love her perspective as we caught up with Deb Rose. So glad to see you here with us again.
Well, thank you.
How's
Melissa.
life treating you?
It's wonderful. I even have restarted to go to with my golf club.
Oh my
and
goodness.
To be able to play a little golf.
I like it. So yeah. What I love about your story is it shows that, you know, one journey, if it leads you to another path, that's okay, because you actually didn't have a very successful first run at college, as the story goes.
That's true. I partied my way out. I was just in over my head. I didn't have any idea. And interestingly, I came back to Topeka and tried to get into the Air Force, and I was 10 pounds overweight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You've always been in great shape, so that's surprising to hear. So you ended up marrying an airman, though.
I did. He was active duty.
And you were a stay-at-home mom.
Yes, I was.
What led you back to education?
There had been an airplane that had two people in it, and the whole, it was something that was crashed and they died. The two people died. The one person happened to be from our town of Overbrook, and all of a sudden it was kind of like a light that came on and said, you need to do something, because if something happens to your husband, you need to be able to take care of the children. So we had two children at that point, and I decided that I was going back to school, and I became a nurse.
You became a nurse?
At Washburn University.
Go Bods, right?
Go Bods.
You became a nurse, but you also then enlisted in the Kansas National Guard. What was it about that service that was important to you?
I did. I was at the base. I was in the medical group, and one drill weekend, I got a call from whoever was in charge of the group, that they wanted to talk to me. And so the wing commander had said they needed somebody to replace another person. And so they came to me to ask if I would like to do that. And I thought that was great. You know, why not? Why not take advantage of. And so, being a nurse, there was things that I couldn't do, but with this, I could go to other places within the base, and that's exactly what I did.
What was your approach to leadership?
My approach to leadership, one of the things is I wanted my folks to know that I was in charge and that I wanted them taken care of. And so it was great. I never, only if there was something going bad would I tell you to come to my office, because I did walking around. I walked around, I got to know people, I got to know their families, and So then the next time I came around, I could ask them, how's your daughter doing? And how's your son doing? And so I thought, for me, it was very personal, because I felt like we needed to all be together.
So you became the first woman to attain the rank of brigadier general. As you were being promoted, did you ever realize that you were the first woman in those shoes?
Actually, what happened is one day I was at the base and I started to look around, and all I saw were any females that were high ranking were all lieutenant colonels. And so my question became, why haven't there been any colonels? How come no women have ever been a colonel here? Well, I think it's just because nobody thought about it. And so I wanted to do this for us, not for me, but for us. And, you know, it was just an odd thing to happen. But I had leaders that were very helpful, very much wanted me to be successful. So I think that's the other piece, is what kind of leadership do you have to make sure that if people want to go higher, that they get higher. But you have to do education, there's a lot of things that you have to do to get ready to be an officer. And then becoming a brigadier general was just, it's just amazing. We have a grandson that just came through basic training in San Antonio. And I can tell you, I was in my uniform, and I cannot even realize how many people I saluted while I was there, because everybody had to salute me and I had to salute them.
Oh, what would be your message, final thoughts here in a few seconds, to any woman out there who wants to set their sights higher?
You've got to be able to plan. You've got to be able to get your education. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to be one of those people that if the wing commander wants to get a group of people together, you be the first one that raises your hand and said, take me, you know, I can help you out. Because if I hear too many people say, oh, you don't ever want to volunteer for anything. No, that's the wrong thinking.
You do.
You've got to be in charge.
You got to put in the work,
yeah.
And no one's going to hand you anything.
And I am so proud to say that there are a lot of female colonels out at the 190th.
You paved the way.
Well, it's for us.
General Rose, thank you. That's a great
You're welcome.
sentiment. I appreciate it. Thank you. Isn't that a great way to think of it? She did it for us, not for herself. Deborah Rose, fascinating woman. Always love visiting with her. We mentioned that on the Red Couch, we talk a lot about some interesting, fascinating community events. This time's no exception. We're going to get a look into outer space, as well as talk about helping out kids in need with the help of a local athletic department, and also why the YWCA is putting art on display. That's all coming up in just a minute here on the Red Couch Rewind. Welcome back into the Red Couch Rewind. Our guests were perfect timing. They visited the studio ahead of the Artemis II launch. Of course, we're all fascinated with the Americans with going back to the moon once again with that mission that's been underway. So Emporia State University was selected as one of the few sites around the country for something called the ARIS project. It's going to allow students to connect directly with some of the astronauts who are currently on the International Space Station. Mark Brown is an instructor at Emporia State University. He is also a NASA ambassador. Tim East is the president of the Emporia Amateur Radio Association. So before we tell you when this is taking place, let's first find out about the ARIS project. So this is a pretty cool thing that's going on. I mean, one of 4 sites. What is ARIS and what is this all about?
So ARIS is amateur radio on the International Space Station, and it's a consortium, a volunteer consortium of various radio organizations. We brought in Tim East. So basically we are facilitating, they're helping to facilitate students being able to communicate with astronauts on the International Space Station.
And how is the radio portion involved here, Tim? I mean, you've got your handheld, is that, what would you call it, a ham radio, shortwave radio? What do we call those these days?
Yeah, that's an amateur radio, and we utilize amateur radio to talk to the astronauts on the International Space Station. They have an amateur radio that's already installed there, and then we put together the equipment on the ground, and then the students that are going to be asking them questions are borrowing our license.
So, I mean, I think about space communication and think you have to have something super high tech. Like these regular radios could actually work.
I brought this just to give you an idea. The amateur radio station that's up on the International Space Station, you can use a radio like this with a special antenna to connect to it. And actually, we had a gentleman that used a handheld to connect to somebody in Arizona.
This sounds like something that could get people in trouble. I mean, how is it controlled that not just anyone can break into the communications of the International Space Station?
You have to have a license, and you have to know the right frequencies, and
you're guarding those.
and the protocol, and those are not to be shared. So.
Okay, so there is security involved, which is why it takes this special. How did you guys get selected to be a site so your students could participate in this?
So we've been working on this since about August, and so as a Solar System ambassador, I get to talk to the best of the best. And some of my people in my inner circle sent out this post on Facebook, and I knew that it existed. So I sent it to Dr. Erica Martin, who is our associate professor of biology, and she's a radio guru. And so when I sent it to her, she was just ecstatic, enthusiastic. And so we put it to Tim and his team. And so we've been working on this since really September, October, when we got accepted. So it's been a lot of work and it's been a lot of fun.
Which students are going to be able to take part in this?
So we have been working with USD 251, 252, and 253, all of Lyon County schools. And so we have a number of students who will be coming to our Payrock Center at ESU, and we'll ask the questions.
So it's not just the college students. What all grade levels are going to be taking part in this?
So basically, we are focusing on middle school onwards to high school.
What is the cool thing that you think that those grades are going to be able to get out of this?
This is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and when I did my research, we are only the second Kansas entity to be able to do this. I believe there was a school in Olathe in 2023, an elementary school. They did this, but I could not find any other information that says any other Kansas school has not done this.
So am I understanding the college students will be involved by facilitating the discussions with the elementary school?
They have been involved in helping to educate. We've traveled to the schools, and we've been giving the teachers and the students the information and the ability to learn about electromagnetic spectrum and doing things about how astronauts live and work in space.
This is like total STEM education all the way around.
That's
what about
exactly
it for
right.
you, Tim, is so important? Is it being able to showcase the radio technology and how useful it is and how widespread it can be?
Yeah, this is actually a collaboration between the American Radio Relay League and NASA, and they work together on this. And so in order for us to be selected, we had to sign an agreement that we would work together and to do this, and it's been a wonderful experience.
Now, you guys can't say the date.
No, ma'am.
No.
You're not going to know the date until it happens.
Oh, no, we'll know ahead of time.
Yes.
But we're not going to be able to publish it until about a week before it happens.
We are sworn to secrecy.
You're sworn to secrecy, but you also are partnering with the Emporia Library. This Saturday, you have a program, Signals from the Stars, if folks want to come learn more.
Yes, so they can come to the public library. I'll be talking about the electromagnetic spectrum and how we communicate with astronauts in space and how that's all sent out.
Well, this seems so cool. Everybody, don't get in trouble. And don't use your radios for ill. That is what we're going to say. We use them for good and for communication and things like this, and it really shows how we can really use this technology that doesn't seem that high tech for all these wild things. I love it. Tim, Mark, thanks for educating me. I'm glad to learn about it. So that's what it is all about. And after Mark and Tim visited, Emporia State got the date. The conversation will be taking place 8:30 a.m. Wednesday, April 8th. They don't have the link for the live stream yet. They're not going to get that out there till the last second. And where you would go for that is emporia.edu/ARIS. That's RISS, emporia.edu/RIS. Wednesday, April 8th, 8:30 a.m. is when this conversation with the folks on the International Space Station will be taking place through the RIS project, and you can get that information when you log on a little bit closer to that time. A very important event that has been going on around Topeka for many years now is Concealed Revealed. It is an art auction that benefits the YWCA of Northeast Kansas Center for Safety and Empowerment. That is an organization that assists women who have been victims of sexual or domestic violence, also human trafficking, a big focus right now. Shell Decker and YWCA CEO Sherry Funtz visited ION Northeast Kansas to tell us more about this important work. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you so much.
23 years for this event, my goodness. Okay, what's the backstory? How did this all start?
Well, a group of women got together, students
at Washburn.
Sharon Sullivan, and they all kind of thought, let's use art to heal. Art is healing for people, and they created this event, and it has been going for this long, and many of the artists have been with us donating art every year since it began.
And so how big is this year's event?
We have one of the largest number of pieces that have been donated to date this year. So I was just sharing that we have almost 70 plus art pieces that have been contributed from all different kinds.
And a wide variety. So let's show what you brought first of all, because these are fantastic. So this is a coffee mug, a teapot. Who made these?
Well, some people, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Glenda Taylor. She was the head of Washburn's art department for many, 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 many years, and she's passed now. And Richard Alexander, he said it was very hard to part with it, but he knows it's going to a great cause. So
and that's the teapot.
He donated the teapot that she made. And then Kara Miller, a newer artist, a younger artist, wonderful work. She does a lot of nature-based things. So this is her little skunk she did using the sgraffito method with ceramics, and it's just adorable. We have such a wide variety.
And you have a painting, because you've got, of course, you have paintings as well. And you know what? I really love that this kind of, what I've always loved about the name Concealed Revealed is that the YWCA obviously deals with issues of sexual and domestic violence, which are often concealed, which are hidden, but you reveal how they impact people through artwork, and this is an example of that, I feel like.
Yeah, Mike Sangurath did that, and he's been a donor for over a decade. The nicest man, and when he comes in, he wants to talk to us about the pieces, and they're related to the theme, and we're so lucky we have 2 of his paintings at the event.
And this is beautiful with the butterfly wings adding that pop of color as folks come out of the shadows and recover. I love it. And you sent me more photos, so we're going to show some of those photos while you tell me a little bit more about just what does this event mean, Shell? What does this all go to support?
Well, 100% of these proceeds go to the Center for Safety and Empowerment. So that's how we service survivors of domestic and sexual abuse, human trafficking, and stalking. So the money goes to support that.
And how many people, Sherry, do you typically serve each year and through, and imagine especially in the human trafficking realm, it's actually been growing.
Yes, we serve thousands. And the numbers are actually quite shocking in 5 different counties throughout this region every year. And with the FIFA World Cup coming, we are anticipating a pretty significant uptick in victimization.
Explain that connection, because I don't think people understand when people talk about that, what that means around major sporting events. Human trafficking happens?
Oh, 100%, yes. Imagine bringing in, more than 1 million different people from different countries, a different approach to culture. And the significance is far beyond what folks can imagine.
And so how do you educate people on what they might see, and if they see that, maybe alert somebody?
We have a team of individuals right now working on rolling out a pretty significant multi-county plan in a way that we can both educate, prepare for, and make sure that not only our staff, but the law enforcement that we work with and community partners are aware of what is to come.
It's very important. So we'll, of course, pass that along once you develop that. Folks who want to go to Concealed Revealed, besides the artwork, what else will the evening involve?
We're so excited. We have a speed painter this year.
Fun.
Annika Wooten. She does, people might recognize her from WNBA games, and she travels the country. And she's coming to do a speed painting for us live in front of everyone there. We're going to have a caricature artist doing drawings of people while they're there. The food is going to be fantastic. We have the same caterer last year that everybody raved about. Buen Saison, I probably said that wrong, and also Jefferson's providing things. So the food's going to be great. JJ Gonzalez is our MC, and he brings all the energy. So it's for something that is a very hard to talk about cause. We're going to have a lot of fun that night raising money for it.
And we're switching it up just a little bit. In the past, we have heard survivors share their story. We have provided awards for folks who've done incredible work for us. This year, our team is taking upon themselves to create a spoken word piece that showcases the impact that their work has had on them as individuals. So I'm pretty excited to share that.
Yes. Okay, that is enough reason to go, I think. There's a whole lot going on. If you would like to attend Concealed Revealed, help the YWCA of Northeast Kansas and their Center for Safety and Empowerment, 5:30 p.m. is when all the fun starts. April 11th at the Aurora at Vinewood. That's over there near Lake Shawnee, 2848 Southeast 29th. Tickets are just $75, and you can get those right now at ywcaneks.org. I'll have that link on WIBW.com as well. Concealed Revealed is coming up April 11th, so in a few days, get your tickets for that. We also, if you go to the health tab on WIBW.com, you will see a story about how some of the sexual assault response nurses at Topeka's Stormontvale Hospital created their own artwork for the event this year. Get a hold of that story and what the nurses are doing and why this means so much to them on WIBW.com, the health page. Another great organization is Soul Reason. Jerry Hudgens founded it many years ago. His goal is to get shoes on the feet of children in need. He is partnering up during the whole month of April to collect these shoes with one special event taking place at the Topeka Scarecrows game. So Jerry visited the Red Couch along with Coach Robbie Nichols and Coach Nichols' assistant's friend, Buddy. It's all good. First of all, Jerry, April. You're doing something special for Soul Reason all month long. What overall are you doing?
All month long for the month of April, we're collecting used footwear, which means it could be cleats, it could be dress shoes, it could be boots, sneakers, it could be anything, as long as it has no holes or tears in them. And all the local fire departments here in town are collecting shoes for us. There's a collection box at all 12 locations here in town. But the main thing we're doing for this event and for the month of April is our event with the Scarecrows.
Okay, but as far as the shoes, you said the shoes themselves aren't going to be given.
No.
How does that work?
What happens is people donate the used footwear to Soul Reason, which is a part of our program we started about a year ago. And what happens is we get money based on the weight of the shoes, which we use to run our program here in Topeka, and also use to help buy more new sneakers for kids in the community. We've given away 10,000 pairs since 2016 of new shoes.
It's amazing what you have done. It was, but you want to capitalize on some excitement with the Scarecrows.
Absolutely.
And first of all, let's get fans to the game.
Absolutely.
And then also, they should bring shoes with them. How did this all come about, Coach?
Well, him getting in contact with our office and yeah, just a good partnership, and we seem like it's a good program to connect with.
And it's important that fans come to the game.
Yes.
What's going on with y'all right now?
Well, the team's doing really well. We have 5 home games remaining this Friday and Saturday, then the following Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we need to win one game out of the 5. Just one. And we make the playoffs. And so we're so excited. A first-year team, and we're going to be in the playoffs.
Just one game.
Just one game.
Okay, so who are the 2 opponents?
Well, we have Baton Rouge this Friday and Saturday. Then we have Indiana.
Are they the Zydeco?
Yep.
I listened to some Zydeco music last week. That's how I remember.
And then we have Indiana, the Sentinels, next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And how confident are you?
Where's
your confidence level?
Those 2 teams are on the bottom of the standings, and we're doing well. So yeah, we've got this.
And I hear tell Buddy might make a special appearance if you win that one game.
He will. So Buddy's been waiting for his chance to actually go on the bench during a game. All the guys love him, and he has to stay in the dressing room during the game. So this would be the one game that Buddy, near the end of the year, once we make the playoffs, they've been told that Buddy will get to go on the bench.
So go to all the games, and you can see Buddy make his special appearance. Yeah. In all seriousness, though, partnering with Soul Reason and an organization that gives shoes to kids in need, as a coach, how many different backgrounds have your kids come up from and could have used something like this?
Everywhere. You know, some of our players from all around the world. You know, we have some Sweden and Czechoslovakia and Canadian, and but some of these players come from some tough backgrounds where they could have used shoes, and it's just such a good program, and it'll bring awareness to the program that this is such a good program, and we're hoping a lot of shoes come in. I may even donate one of my pair of orange shoes that I always wear around town.
That'd be nice.
Now, one of the cool things is people who donate get a raffle ticket.
Yes.
And the raffle ticket is used to, at the end of the night, we'll draw a winner for a season pass for next year to Scarecrow's games. And also some merchandise from the merchandise table.
Now, do you get one raffle ticket for each pair of shoes you bring?
One raffle ticket for each bag or however many they want to donate.
Okay, so just one per person.
One per person.
But that doesn't mean you should only bring one pair.
Now,
it means you should bring
if you
all
go
of
back
them.
to the car and grab some more and bring them back, whatever, you still get a ticket.
Don't bring one shoe.
Yeah.
You do need to wear shoes inside Stormontvale Event
True.
Center. So I just want to put out there that people cannot take the shoes off their feet and give them maybe after the game, and you can take your chances walking back to the parking lot without shoes. Why not? Why not? But it is a great cause. Soul Reason Night with the Scarecrows is Friday, April 10th at Stormontvale Event Center. Get your tickets because you're supporting the team and their run to the playoffs. If you can't make it that night, I'm going to have the link for Soul Reason, soulreason.net, and then you can see on the website all the different places that you can donate shoes to at any time. But again, all the Topeka fire stations are going to be there all this year. That link also has information, right, Jerry, where folks can apply for shoes.
Correct.
Simple way to do it. Simple way. Awesome. Love you guys. Thank you both so much.
Thank
Love
you.
what you do. Good luck with the playoffs. The Topeka Scarecrows, as you heard, in their first season and could become playoff eligible, which would be super fun. A lot of success for them. And of course, wishing Jerry a lot of success in collecting these shoes as well. A lot of great community events are always in store when you come to the studio. Thanks so much for listening to the Red Couch Rewind. And until next time, we'll see you on the Red Couch.